Thanks for checking out this video. And at this point, when I'm recording this, I don't even know what I was going to call this video. So hopefully I picked something decent for the title of it. But this is talking about theaters. There's been some kind of debate on a few fronts with theaters that I'll kind of touch on. One of the big things being like long term, are theaters even worth it? Are theaters going to be around? Also, should studios be trying to force people into theaters, especially during COVID times? Yeah, so I have thoughts on these things. I'm kind of wanting to do this videos. It's just one of my kind of off-the-cuff opinion videos, although it's not fully off the cuff because I've been thinking days about this stuff. I just haven't written anything down, so... But I kind of want to put this out there so that it can kind of generate some discussion on this, because I am interested on hearing... I'm interested to hear a lot of people's opinions on it. Now, when I say that, I say go ahead and put it down in the comments, but... We're talking about being civil. I don't want any people saying that's a stupid idea or that's a stupid idea, or, you know, don't argue with people, me or anyone in the comments. Just kind of state what you think. And we can do this nicely. We can have a good talk about it. Because there's no need, like with social media is the worst of it. There's no need to get nasty about things and think that your opinion is fact, because that's not the case at all. But... I'm just going to put out some things that I've been thinking about, and I don't think I have any definitive side that I'm picking on this, honestly, because I see so many aspects of this. Now, one of the reasons that this came about is I saw the news that Scream did so well at the box office that it unseated Spider-Man No Way Home, which warms the cockles of my horror heart, because it's always nice to see a horror film do better than a superhero film. I watch superhero films as well, but it's just really nice to see a horror film do that well. And I will be seeing Scream at some point. I'm actually at a place where I'm not physically going to theaters right now, even though pre-COVID I was a huge fan of theaters, and I would even go to theaters by myself and just sit there and watch movies because I do love the theater experience. But I made a personal decision to not go to theaters because, I am vaccinated and boosted, but... I have been seeing my parents once a week to kind of help them out with things as they age, and one of my parents is immunocompromised, so I really don't want to run the risk of getting something and giving that to that parent, and, things can get bad. I would just feel horrible, and obviously we all want to keep our parents around as long as possible, so that's one of my biggest things. Also, I've been raised as a very cautious person in my life, so I'm just kind of that way. So... eventually, when everything settles down, I may very well be back at the theaters. But there are a lot of people out there who are kind of saying, why are we doing this? We all know where we're going here. Theaters eventually won't even be a thing. We're just kind of prolonging the death of theaters. And I don't know, because there are still some drive-in theaters. And I am still doing that. I do every now and then go to a drive-in theater because that's, out. You're either inside of your car or you're outside. So... it's way more friendly for COVID times, that is. But I see the debate of kind of moving away from it. We are becoming very individualized when it comes to technology. A lot of people just love the ability to stream something whenever they feel like it, the ability to pause, go to the bathroom, not miss a portion of the film. There is also another aspect that a lot of people don't think about, which is people who have disabilities. Some people have access issues when it comes to going to theaters, and it's much easier. It's much less of a production for them to have to go physically to a theater, so to have it available at home. So I think I kind of am more interested in doing this kind of like hybrid approach that's been going on for a little bit, where it's like it's a release in the theaters immediately for, just the theaters for like a week or so, and then you can stream it on Vudu for like an increased cost. Although the increased cost, does suck as well. But part of my thinking on that too was that, look, eventually you're going to be able to see the film, whatever the film is, in the theater. You just might have to wait. Now, that said, I know there's a concern with spoilers, because there are jerks out there on social media who love to spoil movies for people. I would just say, if you're really that into it and you're not going to go to the theater, just avoid social media. That's actually probably just better for your mental health in general, honestly. But yeah, just stay away from it in that case. But one of the other things that brought me to wanting to do this video and kind of throw some of my random thoughts out there is I saw an article that people were talking about on Twitter from Sonny Bunch, who does some film reviews for the Washington Post, and he had written an opinion piece about how studios should basically force reviewers into theaters to watch their screeners to do their reviews, because that's kind of the intended venue for the film to be viewed in. And the other big argument he was making is that when people are at home, they're more distracted. You know, they can run around the house and do things. You know, they have kids around, they have their phone with them, whatever. That I saw that, and that's the first thing that got me thinking about this whole debate and every aspect of theater versus at home for these new film releases. Well, first of all, I'm just going to say that Sonny Bunch's opinion piece was kind of half-baked, is what it seemed like, because he made an argument, and it is his opinion. Like, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying his opinion is wrong. That's his opinion. But I just don't think there's a lot that he was really thinking about when he was writing it. And I get that sometimes you just need to write an article. I mean, I actually come from, at one point in my life, a journalism... Sorry, I have like a eyelash. A journalism background. I actually worked in journalism for a little bit, was an actual writer for a small newspaper, actually technically an award-winning writer, but I don't want to go into that so much. But I think I threw the award-winning thing in there just in case Sonny Bunch sees this and gets mad. That's what I'm saying. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to writing. But anyway, so he makes this argument, and I just think one of the big things he's not thinking about, when he makes the argument about people being distracted. People are distracted while they're at the theater too. Yes, maybe it's less likely because you don't have like chores around you can do. You're kind of more of a captive audience for the film, and you're more immersed in this setting and this atmosphere of just like focus on the screen while you're in the dark. But you see, you know, even if you still go to theaters or pre-COVID even, you see people not paying attention to films all the time, texting on their phones, people actually talking on their phones, which is the worst of the worst, bringing their children who run around the place. I've seen that before. People talking during the movie, not even focusing on the film, all sorts of things. So, like, I feel like that argument is just, like, kind of invalid in a sense. Maybe there's more you can be distracted by at home, but I think it also comes down to a personal discipline thing, and maybe that's revealing more about Sonny himself than it is about everyone else. Just saying. Also, I want to point out the slight hypocrisy here with Sonny, where Sonny was making the argument that studios should be forcing these movie reviewers to be in the theater because that's where the movie's intended to be. Yet he lives in Dallas, Texas, and is writing for the Washington Post. Should he not be forced to live in Washington, D.C. to write for the Washington Post? Just a question. It's weird. But anyway, that kind of got me going on this whole thing, and I just really wanted to put it out to you. Put out a few of my thoughts and then put it out to you on your thoughts about it. But for me, personally, do I like having the ability to stream films when they first come out? Yes. But am I also the type of person who is very apt to want to, you know, jump on a film immediately when it comes out? No, not really. I mean, I'm still very interested in seeing the Candyman remake, but I'll get to it. You know, like, that's how I kind of feel about films. Yeah, there's a film here or there where I'm like, oh, I kind of do want to see that as soon as possible, but I don't feel like paying a whole lot for it, or, you know, just not at that certain level where it's like, I need to do it now. I think part of the reason for that is, obviously, I have a large collection of films, and also we have streaming services. You know, like, why would I pay pay more money than I'm paying per month for a streaming service to see one movie in a theater? Now, I will say that the theater experience has been a very, and I know this is kind of weird to say, a very zen experience for me in my past. It really has been a way for me to kind of step outside of the world and kind of hit a reset button. So it served as a big de-stressor for me for a lot of my life. Film in general, though, you know, like, if I can kind of immerse myself in a film at home, it kind of does the same thing. But I had found it easier to do that at a theater because I am, you know, a bit captive, and, you know, the screen is much bigger, so you're definitely more immersed inside the film. You can see more about it. Also, amazing film experiences, like when I saw The Shining on the big screen. I think it was like its 30th anniversary or something. And that was unbelievable. Like, it made the character of the Overlook Hotel itself so much more impending and huge, and you could see so much more of it. It felt like you were inside of it. Probably my favorite theater going experience ever in my life. Also, one of those anniversary showings of Alien was another really great one. You saw a lot of interesting detail that you don't on your TV screen. So there are really big pros going on there, but there's also the issues of, accessibility. And I do kind of feel like, maybe at some point we are just going to a time where theaters really aren't around anymore. And I do feel like, why are the studios putting films in theaters again? Why are they trying to get people to physically go there? Well, because it has to do with their agreements with the theaters. It's about making money. It has nothing to do with people. It has nothing to do with anything but making money. It really has nothing to do with anything but making money. These studios do not care about how the film was originally intended to be watched. Like, they don't care about the art of it. They really don't. They care about making money. That's all they care about. Let's understand that. Now, from the audience side, you need to make a decision on how do you feel about it. Like, do you love the theater experience so much that even during COVID times it's worth some risk to you? And it'll, risk will be kind of different levels for different people, or perception of risk even could be, and that's your choice. So cost benefit analysis for each individual person, it'll be different. There will definitely be people who are just like, I didn't go to the theater much before COVID times, and I just don't really have interest, so just give me streaming same day as in the theater. I get that. But at the same time, is it really that big of a deal to wait a little bit? I mean, once again, going back to the spoiler thing, I understand that a bit, but you can avoid spoilers like that. Also, if you're physically talking to someone, just tell them if they bring up the movie. Don't say anything, I haven't seen it yet, I plan on seeing it. Just saying. Although I could see an instance where, maybe someone rides like a subway or something and they just happen to hear something. That would suck. But I think those are more like rare occurrences. So anyway, I'm just mainly throwing this out there with a few of my thoughts, and I would love to hear your opinion, differing opinions, same opinions, whatever. Put it down in the comments. Let's do it civilly, like I said. But I'm looking for not just people to say, I want to see movies in the theater, I don't want to see movies in the theater. Tell me why. Like, what's behind your motivation to go one way or the other? Or are you kind of in the middle like I am? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for checking this out. If you have other ideas for kind of opinion videos that you might want me to delve into that I could do, put it down in the comments as well, in addition to talking about this topic. Do me a quick favor. Also, hit subscribe if you haven't already. That is your way to repay me if you like free content. And that's what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm not making any money doing this, so it's just kind of a hobby thing, and I get very much motivated by seeing new people subscribe. So you could help out, keep me motivated by doing that. But if you're already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate that. Also, hit the notification bell button, because then you'll know when I'm putting up new videos, and if you watch them relatively quickly after they come out, it can help me get traction and extra views with that, which is awesome. Anyway, regardless, thank you for taking your time to watch this, and until next time, keep it brutal.